Hello everyone, from me and Kitty apparently. I wanted to make this video to share something really important that has risen in me in the last couple weeks actually. And I realized that I've been holding myself back not only from you but from myself, so it's not even something that I had the ability to necessarily share. A few years ago when I started my business, I called myself a feminist healing coach. And healing is just such a big thing in the wellness world. My Instagram handle is Healing Hype Girl. But I was very resistant to calling myself a healer. I even did an Instagram live a few years ago about why I'm not a healer and why I don't call myself a healer. And a huge reason is because I felt that, you know, I'm not healing you like you're healing you. You might be receiving something from me. You might make a realization based on something I said or based on just being in my presence. A lot of people tell me like they love my energy. And, so therefore I'm not a healer. And one thing I'm stepping into going forward is that I am a healer. And I know that's like a complete turnaround, but it means something different to me. As I mentioned, a lot of people tell me that they love my energy, that it's so grounding, that I really help them connect ideas together. They like the way I think. And I don't say this to necessarily prove myself to you. In fact, that's exactly why I'm stepping into wanting to be a healer. I'm actually stepping into this because I don't think I've given myself enough credit for the energy that I bring and the knowledge that I bring and what I'm able to see in you that you might not be able to see, not because you don't have that ability, but because all of us, myself included, we need other people to reflect things back to us because we literally can't see ourselves, right? So this is something that I am stepping into, that I am a healer, I am a leader, and that does not mean that I will touch you and you are healed. And I think I had this visual representation of what a healer was, right? A healer is someone who has a bunch of crystals and tarot cards and is only wearing like boho chic clothes and all of this stuff. And while I do like tarot cards and I do have crystals, I don't necessarily use them in my coaching sessions. Sometimes I do use certain prompts and cards, but that is all to say that none of that is required to be someone who has healing energy. And that's really what it is for me, that I have healing energy and I have had it for my whole life. When I was younger, I really thought that I would be doing math problems my whole life. I loved math. I excelled at math. You probably didn't see that coming with me saying that, but I was really good in school. And that was the only place that I saw worth. I didn't see very strong worth at home. I was criticized a lot, gaslit a lot. I didn't really at that time see myself as creative. My mom was an artist, but she was also a perfectionist, so I never thought I'd be as good as her. So therefore, I wasn't creative. This is how we make the stories in our minds, especially when we're younger. And what I'm realizing is that I never did the math stuff. I never became an engineer or got my PhD in like a STEM field because every single thing that I've done that has made me feel fulfilled in my body and that people receive from me is the way I relate to others and the way I connect to other humans. And there are so many people in my life that I've become friends with where it's just like we just look at each other or we like hold each other's hands and it's just like magic. And of course, that is not just because of me. I would never say that. That is also because of the chemistry, the vibes, may I say, that I have with that person. And that is exactly what I bring to my coaching. I think it's really important when you choose a coach to choose someone who you have those good vibes with, who you want to be in their energy. You think that energy is going to be supportive for you. And while I think that all my previous clients I have loved so dearly and I have supported in the fullest extent that I was able to at that time, I think there was a part of me that was held back. And this is just the evolution of being a practitioner. And no matter what you do, maybe you are a librarian. I have a lot of library people because I used to be a librarian. Maybe you work in nonprofit, maybe whatever it is, you learn things, you evolve, you start integrating information. You move in the learning process from unconscious incompetence, which means not knowing what you don't know, to unconscious competence, which is not even knowing what you do know, becomes so natural and embodied in you. And this is me like really realizing that I've actually had this unconscious competence, but I haven't been ready to step into it. So I'm ready to step into it now. I am a healer. I am someone who has that energy and that intention and that such deep love for other humans that I am so excited to continue to connect with you in whatever way that excites you. Maybe that's at my writing accountability group. Maybe that is choosing to do coaching with me. Maybe that's asking me about where you should go next. Maybe I'll say, hey, maybe you should see this therapist. Maybe you should do some journaling. There's so many things that I can share with you and ways that I'd be happy to guide you, even if that's just you reading my emails and maybe we never talk, but please do respond to my emails. I love when you do. So yeah, I just wanted to share that because, and I really wanted to share it on video. I usually don't share things on video because I love writing, but I wanted you to see my energy, and I guess I must have wanted you to see my cat too. So yes, I am a healer. I am here. I am realized that my life force, the reason I am here is to do this. And, I am also going to reflect on what brought me to this. I think especially after October 7th, just the deep sadness, anger, despair that I know so many others experienced, witnessing the genocide of Palestinian peoples. It wasn't new, right? This has been happening for a long time, not just to Palestinian people, but thinking about Black people who've been enslaved, thinking about people who've been indentured servants, refugees, disabled folks, trans folks, so many people who have been marginalized for just being who they are, right? For expressing who they are. This has been happening for a while to all of us on some level. And what I realized was there was a lot of shoulds coming into my purview, not just since October 7th, but before, but I think October 7th really heightened it. I was like, is my coaching even impactful? Like, how am I, look at what's happening in these places. Like, how is me saying like, you should have boundaries, like actually going to help like collective liberation? And like, I laugh at that because that's like, it's like very real, right? But at the same time, I realized that I am not here to be on the front lines necessarily. It doesn't mean I can't. I have gone to protests. I have volunteered for organizations. I have fundraised. I've done these things. But my gift and my life force is here to connect with you, to help you get deep inside, to help you understand how you can sustain yourself as all of these things are happening in the world, because it is so easy to get lost and exhausted and unclear and overwhelmed with how so much is coming at us, especially when we see so much on our screens, when social media is constantly reporting all these tragedies and sadness. And it really got me in yes, I'm doing this work and I'm going to keep doing this work. This is what is sustaining me financially in this world where we need to sustain ourselves. But there was a part of me that just like kind of felt a little like held back, not fully forward. Like I say, like literally stepped in to what I'm here to do. And I have remembered her. I have now remembered her. And it is me taking those shoulds, which is the voices of other people and what they think I should do. And that doesn't mean I don't regard what other people have to say, but I also have to see how that fits in my energy. One thing I always say with my one-on-one clients when I start working with them is that you are exactly wonderful and beautiful where you are right now. There's nothing to fix. Just as a little plant starts sprouting from the soil, we wouldn't say that it's not enough, that it needs to change, that it isn't enough as it is. We would say, yes, let's think about what environment we want to have for it so it can grow and it could develop. And that is what I'm here to share with you. We are not here to, be afraid of our power. And I think so many of us are afraid of our power, myself included, which is why I'm making this video. So that is what I wanted to share with you how I'm stepping into myself being a healer. And it has also made me realize how much all of us, you, might be holding back what your power is. And when I say power, I do not mean power over, I mean power with. How are the ways that we can lift each other up while we are also lifting ourselves up? How are we all being conditioned by other people's voices about what we should do, forgetting who we are? I would not tell my cat to not be a cat. I would not tell her that she needs to be like her sister. There are times I've thought that, but that's unfair, right? That is completely unfair. She is who she is, and I have to work with who she is. And you have to work with who you are, and that includes deconditioning yourself from the voices of capitalism, colonialism, people who may have bullied you, people who tell you what you should feel, who you should like, who you should listen to. Really think critically. Question what dominant ideology wants you to want, what it needs you to want. Question what people over you are asking of you, and think about how whatever action you have, who is it benefiting? So I'm just going to close with that. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a beautiful holiday season for whatever you celebrate. I'm really into getting cozy and hibernating, and that is how I am spending the next couple of weeks. So I hope you're able to find the gentleness and whatever connection that you need during this time, whether that's with others, whether that's with a book, whether that's with your furry friends, whether that's with your heart. You are the earth, and you are a part of the earth that requires connection. It's not just connecting with the trees and the birds and the mountains. That's great. And you are also an earthly being. So please connect with them, please, because it really serves all of us. Bye.